Hello and welcome back to the Obsession Engineering Kitchen, where tonight I'm going to make Dave's secret lemon cake. Always goes down well with people, so I'm going to show you how to make it. I'm even going to show you the secret. To make Dave's secret and quite special lemon cake, we're going to obviously need some ingredients. So here they are. So we have milk, butter, self-raising flour, icing sugar, eggs, caster sugar, and of course a lemon. But now I've got to let you into the secret. The secret ingredient for Dave's cake is limes. I know, so it's not really a lemon cake, it's lemon and lime cake. I'm actually going to be making double quantity because it's really popular, not just with me, but with some friends of mine, which of course I can't actually see at the moment. Anyway, so I'm going to be using, instead of just using one lemon, I'm going to be using one lemon and 2 limes. Pretty much double quantity. Then obviously we're going to be needing tooling. So move down here, we're going to need scales, a bowl for the lemon juice, a bowl for everything else, and some baking trays. And of course, an oven. So, let's crack on and see how we make it. The first thing as ever is to preheat our oven. So, 180 degrees C and press go. So to start, I've lined my baking trays, not particularly tidily, but they're still done. And the next thing I've done is butter in a bowl. Now it looks like a lot because I'm doing 2 batches, but if you're just doing a single cake, which is, you know, pretty practical, you want 110 grams of butter. Next up is something else. Probably flour. Flour sounds like a good thing to put next. That's the second stage done. I've actually cheated a little bit and softened off the butter in the microwave. So now I've got added 170 grams per cake of self-raising flour. And the next stage is 4 tablespoons of milk. But I've always wondered why they're called tablespoons, because it's always the spoon that you don't have on your table. Use a teaspoon on your table, use a dessert spoon on your table, but you don't use a tablespoon. So why is it called a tablespoon? It's a conundrum. Now I've added 4 tablespoons of milk from a tablespoon and 170 grams of caster sugar. The next bit is the eggs. So that's 4 eggs because I'm doing double quantity. So it's 2 eggs per cake. And the next thing I need to do, with the tool I forgot to talk about, my grater, is grate some lemon. Do you call it the rind? Well, whatever you call it, we need some lemon. And so we'll grate some of this into it. So yes, you actually end up with little bits of lemon in the cake and a load of lemon juice over the cake, and it gives it a real good flavour all the way through. So I've got a bit of lemon there, then a bit of lime, and if I do it right, no bits of finger. So there we've got the rind and the skinny bits, the whatever bits of lemon and lime, so we'll tip that into there, slightly awkward one-handedly. But trust me, that all goes in there. And then I need to whisk that all together using another tool I forgot to mention earlier, a whisk. You have to excuse me, I've had a long day building a KTM engine. I must be half asleep. Before I stick an electric whisk in and end up with just bits of lemon and lime everywhere, I'm just going to take the spoon I've already used earlier and just start sort of folding it all together. This will help with not firing all the flour out over everywhere. As you can see, my butter's sort of melted a little bit, but not much. So we'll just make a bit of a gooey mess of that, and that will stop me firing quite so much flour around the kitchen when I introduce some electricity. Wow, it looks tasty already, look. Beautiful. You show me a man who doesn't like a power tool, and I'll show you not a man. So here we go. It might be in the kitchen, but I'm still classing it as a power tool. I'll tell you what, maybe the big tool companies, the sort of, you know, the Snap-ons and the Milwaukees and people like that, maybe you ought to start making kitchen stuff. Get more men in the kitchen. It'd be mega. I'm going to have to hold the bowl with the other hand though, so I shall be back to it with you when this is a bit less lumpy. So here we are with nearly smooth cake mixture. Now interestingly, if I press the button there, it goes faster. And the button says on it, turbo. Well, it's not a turbo, is it? Because it's not an exhaust-driven turbine using an impeller to force compressed air mixture into an inlet. It's just nonsense. What it is more throttle. So maybe it ought to be changed from turbo to 100% throttle or more revs. It's nonsense. All these people who put a label on something that says turbo, it's clearly not a turbo, is it? So there we have a nice smooth cake mixture. Obviously there's a few bits of rind and stuff in there, but that's absolutely fine. So what I have to do now is pour that into the cake tins over there, and I also get to do the very best bit of baking, which is of course licking out the bowl. So I've put the cake mixture into the oven. Oh, by heck, that's good. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I've put the cake mix in the oven, 180 degrees for 40 to 50 minutes. So I'll put it in for 45 minutes. And so I've got a few minutes of enjoying the goodness, and then I shall prepare the topping. While the cake is in the oven, I'm going to do the preparation for the sauce, glaze, call it what you want. So I'm going to chop these in half, squeeze them into the bowl, and then, to be fair, I actually need to wait for the cake to be done before I can add icing sugar. You can see that I've used the time constructively and I've done some tidying up as well, because I'm good like that. Because I'm quite tall, you can't actually see my head while I do this bit, but all I'm really doing is squeezing lemon juice into a bowl. Probably don't really need to see my head for that. Got to get in there with your fingers, get all the juice out of it. There's no point wasting anything, is there? I'm sure you can get a proper thing for squeezing juice out of a lemon, but really, who minds just getting the fingers dirty occasionally? It's not like a bit of lemon juice is going to do you any harm, is it? Now, splendid, splendid. Now for the limes. Now, if I was just making one cake, what I'd probably do is have a small lemon and a small lime, and you'd have plenty of sauce. But, being as I'm doing two, I'm basically substituting one of the lemons for 2 limes. I mean, you could just do it with lemon, but I think it's a little bit better. I think it gives it a bit more of an interesting flavour using the lime as well. And otherwise it'd just be a boring lemon cake. This way it's, you know, Dave's secret special lemon cake. So that's all the lemon and lime. I'll just scoop the seeds out. One. These ones weren't too bad. I've had some lemons where you've almost got an entire lemon full of seeds. That's all of that. I can drop one on the scale. Right. Now I can go and watch a bit of TV or something until the cake's ready. The timer has beeped, so... Yeah, the camera will unfog in a minute. Look at that. 2 lovely looking cakes. And I'll tell you what, they smell pretty good too. So I better put an oven glove on because this is not heat resistant. And I'll pick those out and then we can do some topping. A quick check to see if the cake is actually done enough is stick the knife in, comes out nice and clean. That one's okay. This one actually had a little bit more in it, so maybe just wants another couple of minutes, that one. Right, this one, being the slightly bigger one, has had another 5 minutes in the oven, so let's do the old stab test. Look at that, lovely and clean. So what we're actually going to do now is give it a few breathing holes, because I'm going to make the juice, like the glaze, and I want it to actually soak into the cake. There's two choices with the topping. You can either put it on the cake when it's hot and it soaks in and it sort of makes the whole cake more, well, lemony. Or you can leave it till the cake's cold, pour it on the top and it'll sit on it like a glaze. But I prefer it to be soaked in and tasty, so I'm going with that. So I have the juice I got earlier. So over we go. Into the magic machine of microwaves. 45-ish seconds. I want it nice and hot so that I can melt some sugar into it. So now we have steaming hot lemon and lime juice. What I'm going to do is spoon in some icing sugar. So we're going to need quite a lot of icing sugar. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for good luck. So you can put pretty much in as much as you can, as long as it all sort of dissolves. You don't really want lumps of sugar in your jelly in your lemon when you're finished. So I'm going to mix that all in. It's all terribly exciting, isn't it? Tell you what, come back to me in a minute. So we now have juice with the sugar dissolved into it. I'm going to shuffle these up nice and close next to each other. And while they're still warm, I'm going to spoon the juice straight over the top. I'll tell you what, if I do this two-handed, I can actually lift the bowl of juice and do it considerably easier. So, yeah, I think I'll probably do it two-handed. So here we go. Pouring plenty on, and it'll sort of, it'll look to begin with like it's actually sort of flooding the cake. But it'll drain through the holes I've punched in it, and it'll drain around the edges and everything, and you'll be left with a real good, sweet, lemony cake. I'll show you it in a minute. It'll be a treat for you, seeing cake that you can't eat. Hopefully this is making you want to actually bake your own. If it doesn't, you're a bit odd. You can see that's the juice all over the top of both cakes. And in the way I do things, because I tend to do my baking in the evening, I'm going to cover those in tin foil now, and I'm going to let them cool overnight. So, tomorrow morning, I can have breakfast cake. Woohoo! It's the morning after, so here we go. Cake. So I shall move that over here. And I suppose I better unwrap it and try a slice. So here goes the all-important taste test. Yeah, that's good. That's lovely. We've got sort of a nice consistent texture all the way through. I've got enough taste of lemon to make sure it's definitely a lemon cake, but without it sort of going soggy at the bottom. Oh, it's bloody lovely, that is. Oh, I really like cake. All that's left then is for you to get baking. So off you go. Go on. Go on. And I'll be back with more recipes next time. A little recap of what you'll need to make one cake. You're going to need 110 grams of butter, 170 grams of self-raising flour, 4 tablespoons of milk, 170 grams of caster sugar, 2 eggs, the zesty, rindy stuff from 1 lemon and 1 lime, small ideally. And then for the coating for the juice, you're going to need the juice from the lemons and limes and 2 to 3 dessert spoons of icing sugar, heated up and melted together. Once you've got all your ingredients mixed together in a big bowl, pour them into a cake tin and pop them in a preheated oven at 180 degrees C for 40 to 50 minutes. 45 to 50 is probably best. Then, when you take it out of the oven, you're going to pour over the lovely juicy glazy stuff. And once it's cooled down, you can eat it, and that's definitely the best bit.